Okay, hello everyone. I am Tracy DeMario, and we are going to talk tonight about ways to increase your PRV. And we are going to learn from some other Bliss members who clearly know a few things about earning PRV. So we're going to talk to them here in just a minute. I did want to make sure you guys have all seen on the Scented Bliss family group, there's an announcement post that has a bunch of different upcoming dates for both February and March. So make sure that you guys have checked that out, because that way you kind of know how to plan and you can use some of that information to your advantage as we talk about some of the training component that we're going to talk about tonight. One thing that is not on there that some of you guys might have seen already, but it just came about, is that the Scentsy family reunion that was going to happen in July in Charlotte is now going to be a virtual event. So I know many of us are very sad because we absolutely live to go to our Scentsy family reunions live and in person. But I'm going to find the bright side, just like I'm going to ask the rest of you. And for many people, you will now be able to attend because it's virtual. So for that reason, I'm very excited that more people are going to have the opportunity. We do not have any of the registration information at this time. That will come typically in March. So I wouldn't expect to see that anytime soon. I do know if you're needing to block off some things on your calendar, if you're wanting to do that, on July the 20th is when the on-demand and the breakout sessions will become available. And then you're going to find on, let me just double check because I don't have it in front of me. I don't say this wrong. On July the 22nd and 23rd are when the general sessions will be. They will likely be during the day. So for those of you that need to work, that's okay, because they will be recorded. And once you've registered, you'll get the link to be able to access that information. I know this is a common thing that people say, oh, why don't they do it on the weekends? Well, when it's a virtual event, we are a global company now. So we have consultants that are in Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, all over the world. And one of the Scentsy values is very much about, they really value family and time with family for both their employees and for all of you. So they do not host any events on Sundays. So in the United States, if we were to have an event on a Friday and Saturday, in other regions, it would potentially or would be on a Sunday. And therefore, that's just not going to be an option when it's a global event. So, you know, while I know it's frustrating for some of you because they're like, oh, but I want to watch it live. Again, we need to find the bright side and think, you know what a great company that we work for, that they take that into consideration and that they value that family time for both their employees and for their consultant base. So very thankful. You'll be able to get the recording link. Watch for more details, but I thought I would mention that because that has not, I didn't update that in that thread on that specific announcement post. Okay, well, let's just get right to it. So how many of you guys have all the PRV that you need? Has anybody like just got so much PRV that they don't need to work this business anymore? Okay, I don't either. So, and I have some really good months, but here's what I have found. My reality is that every opportunity I have to make a sale is an opportunity for me to have additional conversation and build a relationship with someone. That relationship is not only going to then develop into future orders, because again, here's what we know. People don't steal our customers. When you take care of your customers, they have no reason to go somewhere else. So we all need to remember that and take note. If you're doing a good job of taking care of your customers, they're going to stay your customers. You're going to always be in business. And they're going to refer people to you. Remember, people quit all the time. They quit Scentsy. They sign up. They think, oh, this is get rich quick. I'm going to get rich. I'm going to be loaded. I'm going to have all these things, and I'm not going to have to do very. I can post my website out on the on social media, and I'm going to be sitting great. And as we all know, that is not reality. Yes, you'll get a few token sales by just sharing your website, but at the end of the day, if you're really trying to make this a business and you want it to be something that can be sustained, you are going to have to put effort and work into it. And therefore, lots of consultants quit. And when all those consultants quit, they are leaving customers behind. So that's why it's important taking care of your customers, knowing that they're going to refer you to other people. And there's always people looking for consultants. So we have that going for us. We also know through those conversations and through those opportunities comes, again, the opportunity to have people host. And then, of course, it leads to the opportunity to have people join our team. So that's why when we're constantly talking about PRV, income producing activities, which are called IPAs. So if you hear anybody saying you need to be doing more IPAs, income producing activities is what we're referring to. Because again, those conversations are going to lead to so much more. And that is truly the foundation in your business. So if you were to ask me, what's the one thing I absolutely must do to be successful in Scentsy? I will tell you to take care of your customers, and they're going to keep coming back, and you're going to build off of that. So it truly is, it can be as simple as that. It really, truly can. But I would like to dig a little bit deeper and give you guys a little bit more information and resources and more of a plan that you guys can then put in place and that you can use. So for that, I want to ask, I'm going to call on a couple of people. And I know 2 of the 3 have not shared here before, so that's always exciting to me. I don't know that they're excited. I don't know that any of them are excited, but I told them, hey, we're going to show them some Scentsy love. So they're going to be in good hands. So I would like Jamie Akins to unmute herself if she would. Where is Jamie?
Right here. Hello, everybody.
Oh, yeah, there you are. Jamie, would you tell us, when did you join Scentsy and what is your current rank?
I joined last September, so September 2020, and I am a superstar consultant.
Very good. And where are you from, Jamie?
I'm from Lansing area in Michigan.
Oh, very good. Okay, it's probably still kind of cold up there then.
It is.
Yes. All right. I can relate. Although today was a nice day. Us Missourians cannot complain today. So, okay. So Jamie, I'm not going to call out your numbers. You're welcome to share them if you're comfortable doing so, but you consistently have phenomenal months of PRV. And last month being January, which there's this old myth that somebody decided to say is that the J months are supposed to be slow. So I really shouldn't have to work very hard. Well, clearly you didn't get that memo or that message because your January was phenomenal. Will you tell us a little bit about what your January looked like?
Yes. So with my January, what I did is I focused on setting up parties, and that's where most of my PRV came from. I had, I think it was around, that's terrible, I don't even know the numbers. I think I had around 3,600 PRV, and that does not include 2 parties that I flipped to my new team members. So I added 2 new team members and I flipped both their parties to them. One of them was over 200 PRV and the other one was over 500 PRV. So that would have put me over 4,000 PRV for the month. So I had 12 parties that I booked for January. And that's where most of my PRV came from. Also, I do samples every month, and so some comes from that and my follow-ups with that. I also started a scent box, my own. I follow Laura, I think is it Canote? Canote. Yes, I followed her examples and started my own scent box, and so I had 5 subscribers for January. So I got a handful of PRV from that. Reaching out to people through Project Broadcast, I did get a handful of orders from that. But the bulk of my PRV did come from parties. And I did want to touch base a little bit on that as well. So half the people that hosted parties for me, I already knew, and I just reached out through private message, and I actually reached out through private message to a lot of people. I reached out to people who are on my VIP page. I reached out through by following up on my samples. So I would follow up with them and say, hey, I just wanted to make sure you got your sample and see what you thought of the scent of the month. And no matter what their reply was, honestly, I would say, are you interested in hosting a party for free and half off, or to earn free and half off products this month? We have 10% off. Like, I told them what's exciting about this month. And I said, it could really make for a great party, which would mean more rewards possibly for you. And so that's kind of the tagline that I used when I reached out to people through private message. And I got 12 parties booked by doing that.
So and then, Jamie, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, you go ahead.
I wanted to ask you, so when did you start getting these bookings? Did you wait till January 1 to start booking your calendar?
Nope. So I always try at least a week beforehand, before the month starts. I would start because I want hopefully to have a party like right after, like right the start of January. So I started reaching out to people probably even early December because I knew it was going to start dying down around the holiday. And so I would touch base with people and see if they were interested in hosting. And if so, would they be interested in hosting after the holidays? And so I kept a list in my my AMI or AMI and tagged them as a possible host, prospect. And then I went back through towards the end of December and I contacted all those people to see if they were interested in setting it up. And then I tried to spread them out throughout January. I don't want them all, you know, at the very same time to overwhelm myself. And I want to make sure to give the best quality party to my hostesses and their people as well. So, yeah, half of the other half of the parties that I had booked were follow-ups from the Sense, and then also from, they were people that attended other people's parties. So they were party guests from my past parties. And I found that the best way to get people to book through other parties isn't like every single party that I do, I always do the post like, hey, if you want to book a party, you know, I'm available, booking now for next month or whatever it is. I don't really get a whole lot of feedback by that particular post on my parties. I find that where I get people to book off of other parties is in my follow-ups. And so I will follow up with them, especially people who have placed an order. That is where I get the majority of my bookings. I will wait. I watch their tracking number because we all get emails when their orders have shipped. I go through all the tracking numbers, and when I see that something or someone got their order, I try to typically wait like a day or two after they receive their order. And then I follow up with them because I want to make sure that they're happy with it so that, you know, happy customers are going to be most likely returning customers. So I'll reach out to them and say, hey, did you get your order? I just wanted to make sure you're happy with everything. And if they're not happy with it, I try and make it right, however that is. And if they are happy with it, awesome, great. You want, like, they're excited about their new product. Let's get a party booked. And that's honestly how I get most of my bookings off of other parties, is through the follow-up. And I make sure to wait. Like, I don't do it right at the end of the party. I make sure to wait until after they have their products in hand. They smell them, they love them. You know how it goes. Like with Scentsy, you have the product, like you love the product.
Now, are you doing all of your parties virtual?
All my parties are on Facebook. Well, except with the exception of two, I actually did two kind of, one was like a pouch party kind of, I put packets together. Actually, yeah, the other two. So 10 of them were Facebook parties and the other two were kind of like a pouch party, but I didn't include anything that I would have to get back from them. Because of COVID, I'm like cautious with that stuff.
Yeah. I love the fact that you said that you messaged a lot of people. You asked a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people. And so when someone told you no or didn't respond, did you even pause before you kept asking?
The same people, you mean? Or
no, like, did you just keep moving on, or did you ever get like?
Yep. And then even if they don't answer me, like some people may have said in the past that they were interested in hosting, and then I will send them a message and say, hey, you know, do you want to book for next month? They might, like you can see on Facebook Messenger, oh, like they saw it, you can tell that they saw it, but sometimes they're just clearing their notification and it's an honest, you know, they really intend to get back to you, but they forget or whatever. So I don't take it as they're necessarily ignoring me. So I might, if they didn't respond last month, I'm going to try again probably next month and I'll have something like new and exciting.
Right.
So now it's like, all right, February, we have a brand new catalog. You want to help me launch this thing?
And I think the sooner that you as consultants can get past the fear of what if they say no, I don't want to bother them, you know, or they ignore me, the sooner you can move past that fear, the sooner you're going to start seeing results. because that is just part of our reality in business. You're going to hear no, you're going to get ignored, you're going to be, whatever. And you just have to keep pushing on. I mean, if you want to see the type of months that Jamie is having on a regular basis, then you have to be willing to keep pushing despite the no's or the ignores or whatever. A couple of other things I want to touch on that you said real quick, Jamie, was I love the fact that you have an understanding of how the host kit works and that you made it a priority to offer it. And as you can see, you also successfully were able to add 2 new team members. And, I've been told from the very beginning, and it still is true, that if you can do 2,000 a month PRV, or aim for, okay, let's just say aim, and there's going to be months you're going to miss because that's just real, and add 2 team members a month, your business will significantly change in a very short period of time. So you're practicing all the right things. Thank you for being such a great example. And to be in Scentsy just a little over a year, I mean, that is phenomenal that you clearly, the light bulb went off and you're keeping it on. So
actually, I just started in September of last year, so it's only been a handful of months even.
Oh, September 2020. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay. So far away.
So how do the rest of us find more Jamies? That's all I want to know. No, just saying.
I don't know how we are on time, but I did have a couple of pointers too that I wanted to share.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, you're fine.
So for my success, how I feel like I don't know who just said that, but thank you. Jamie is the bomb diggity. That's funny.
We don't know because it just says
probably
iPhone.
Amanda Wells or Amy.
It says iPhone. I don't know, but go ahead.
So a couple of tips that I wanted to give you guys as far as party goes. Because my very first party I had, or one of my first parties, I had over 1,000 PRV for that person. And that party opened up a lot of doors for me. I've met most of my recruits through there. I've met most of my hostesses. Like, it just opened up a lot of things. And I asked them, I said, you guys have been amazing. Can you please tell me, like, what do you like about this party, about how I did things, and what could I change? And what they liked most was my games. I do a lot of variety of games, not even necessarily Scentsy related, but they just love the games. And I do one game every day, and all they are is to earn entries into one final drawing that I do. And depending on where they are, so if the hostess is local, I might, and whoever won the prize is local, I might do something bigger and give it to them so I'm not paying extra on shipping. And if they're not, a lot of times I'll just do a scent circle, and people are still so excited to get something free. So I recommend games. And then I try and get people to comment within the party, or try and get them to private message me to open up a line of communication, because with all the Facebook algorithms, and you know how they can throw you in Facebook jail if you're messaging people who aren't your friends and stuff. If you get your party guests to comment within the party, then you can go back later. And for instance, I always say, your order has shipped, and I tag the members in there. Then I go back, and since they're tagged, and a lot of times they'll comment, thank you, I'm excited, whatever. When I reply to their comment and it tags them, they're more likely to see it and it's going to be easier to contact them, for follow-ups or to get them to book a party or whatever it is. Same thing with private messaging. If I in all my parties, I say, hey, I'm getting some samples ready to mail. Would you like to be on my samples list? And I'll ask them to private message me their address so that it opens up, that line of communication for the future. I think there was one other thing that I wanted to touch base on. Oh, and then I also wanted to let you guys know too, when you're giving prizes away, I know sometimes it's tempting, like when you do your drawing, if they haven't ordered, like you want to give a prize sometimes, to someone who's actually ordered or whatever, treat them. But I'm here to tell you, it does not matter whether or not they ordered. If you give them something, you don't know, like, first of all, you could make somebody's day. They might not have any money to order anything. And just a scent circle, like that could mean a lot. It could really, touch them.
Mhm.
And second of all, like I just got somebody to host who she didn't order anything in the party that she was in for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. She won the prize. It was a scent circle. I followed up to make sure that she liked her prize. She booked a party with me. She did well in her party. She has since placed like 3 or 4 orders and subscribed to Scentsy Club. So you just don't know what doors, could open doing all these little things. So I think that's
That is,
all.
no, that's a good
That-
tip. I was
that
going to
was,
say, oh, sorry.
no, you go ahead.
So I was just going to say with my follow-ups to the party groups, like I'll say, if you book a party and you get to 200, then the current host gets another half off price or like
Mhm.
half price item. I don't know if you do anything like that.
I haven't really. I usually use the perpetual party reward just to treat my hostesses. And I could try that and see if that, I mean, that could get me even more. Honestly, I haven't even tried it. So
Yeah,
I've
I
had
didn't know what.
people ask me like, hey, do they get anything if I book off of their party? And then I'll tell them like, yeah, they earn rewards as well with your qualifying party. But for the most part, I don't know why I don't really throw that out there. I don't know if it's because I just feel like maybe it's a lot of strings. Like I don't want to promise them anything and I don't know. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's a good thing to offer though.
Mhm.
Especially
Yeah,
if you
that's
don't
what
have,
I've been doing.
yeah, if you don't
I
have
just
a bunch
I don't know how.
Mhm. Oh, that was fantastic, Jamie. And we have 2 more that I've asked to speak. And then if you guys do have questions and stuff, there should be some time at the very end too. So write them
Oh,
down because if you're like
sorry.
me, oh no, you're good. No, you're good, Amber. No, I just am saying in general as I'm not cutting Jamie off, but just to let you guys know that she will be available for questions. So I actually have Amanda Becker is going next. Where's Amanda? We have a lot of Amandas, by the way. That's why it was kind of a joke in the chat. If you saw, I should have known it was Amanda because we literally have, I haven't counted, but there's a lot of Amandas.
Tracy,
Yes. Oh,
I don't know if you're talking about me.
well, is your consultant name Becker?
It was supposed to be changed.
Okay, then it's you. Yes.
Okay. I put
You're
a
the one that I
request
emailed,
in.
right? Like I emailed you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the names, that always throws me. Like it takes a while for me to learn people's like Facebook names versus, I mean, when I say a while, I don't mean minutes, I don't mean weeks, I don't mean months. Like I can get it wrong after years. So don't take it personal if your consultant name is different from your Facebook name.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it's
So,
they changed it on my side. I just didn't know
oh,
that was still showing.
well,
It's
that's
been like
interesting.
several years since I've had that last name.
Okay, well then I don't know. I don't know. Well, anyways, I'm very happy that we have Amanda. So Amanda, tell us where you're from, when you joined Scentsy, and what your current rank is.
So I just promoted to star and I am in Leavenworth, Kansas. And I actually joined Cincy back in like 2013. And I didn't really have a good team with me. So I stopped because I really didn't know what I was doing. I just knew the basics. And then I found Angie when I moved here and I started purchasing from her. And I was purchasing so much that I thought I should probably just join Scentsy again and make money off of myself. And I that was probably the best choice I have made in a long time besides my kids because it's a lot different now that I have a team that I can get ideas from. And Angie's awesome. She always is there to help me, like if I need help. And the Scented Bliss page really gives awesome ideas. My PRV last month was around 3,100. and I didn't really do anything different besides I only had 2 parties booked last month. It was really slow for parties, but the parties did amazing. And I really pushed for the discontinued items. A lot of people would comment on my post because I would just share it on my regular Facebook or my Cincy Facebook page. And a lot of people would comment on a discontinued item and that they liked that warmer or something. And I would comment or send them a message depending on how well I knew them and tell them that that item was disappearing January 31st or before if it sold out. And most usually they would go straight to and order right then and there because they did not want to lose that warmer. And then we had the Valentine's Day launch, which it was okay for me, but most of my PRV this month came from those 2 parties and the discontinued items. And I'm constantly following up with my customers, like my regular customers, all the time, making sure that they're stocked up on their wax, or if they need anything to let me know. And so they're always returning. So I guess I must be doing something right because they really helped me. I honestly, I don't know where the PRV came from except for just people just ordering because of discontinued items and the bars, the 10% off last month. And nobody, I mean, to them, that was an amazing deal. Like, they need their wax.
Well, Amanda, I kind of have a general idea of how you had such a great month. So first of all, I'm sorry, but unless you're the only human on the planet, those awesome hosts don't just like happen. And to have 2 in 1 month tells me that you did a really good job of host coaching. It tells me you did a good job of running the party. So what I heard in listening to you talk is that you have definitely, even though you're like, well, I mean, since he gave us the discount, since he gave us a discontinued list that I could use, you are utilizing the tools that, yes, some of which the company is providing for us, but you're taking that opportunity and then doing the work. And I think that is the magic piece. Like all of us, I mean, I'm sure I've been guilty too when someone has commented on one of my posts, oh, that's a cute warmer. I didn't necessarily always take the initiative to say, oh my gosh, isn't it awesome? You know, it's going away on the 31st, but I could go ahead and order it for you right now. Or here's the link that'll send you right to that. Like you took action. And oh, Jackie that's so ironic. I just saw in the chat, Jackie just used that same word that came up. So she took action. If we all just wait for our business to happen, we're going to be waiting a long time. You're going to sit at Essential Consultant, at Star Consultant, at whatever for a long time. But if you are truly doing the actions, and both of you guys have talked a lot about follow-up, and you know, that's one of the biggest conversations that I have when I'm coaching and mentoring with consultants is we talk about follow-up and they're like, but I do. But when I really have those conversations, what are you doing for follow-up? How many people have you followed up with today, this week, this month? You know, the reality is what they think is follow-up and what is truly follow-up are 2 different things. And so if you're not sure what we mean by follow-up, well, Amanda and Jamie have given some really good examples. And I would definitely say if you start putting that stuff in play, you are going to see results. Amanda, I want to thank you for sharing because I think that's awesome. And now I know Amanda Garcia. I got you, girl. Okay.
Yes.
So
I also wanted to say something. I attended the world tour just, last month, whenever it was. Sorry, I have mom brain. So that really lit a fire in me too, like to watch the breakout rooms and everything. I mean, it kind of just like inspired me to be like, okay, I'm gonna really do this. And because it was a new year, I was like, what better time than the start of 2021 to just go all out. So it really inspired me to do that. So I definitely suggest doing that if you haven't, when the opportunity arises. And On one of the breakout rooms, I think the lady said, anytime someone places an order with you, send out a thank you card. And it just takes one stamp, put it in the mailbox, and regardless of how many times, say next week she orders again, still send her another thank you card. And I thought that couldn't hurt to try. And so I started doing stuff like that. And my customers are like, I mean, they think, well, I am specifically thanking them for supporting my business, but they're getting that customer service from me where, you know, maybe they used to have a Scentsy consultant, but they never got recognized from their consultant. And I think that's really what it's about.
That is fantastic advice. Thank you so much, Amanda. And again, if you can stay with us so that if anyone has questions. So last but certainly not least, I'm hoping, I haven't checked the chat because I know she was going to be driving, is I have asked Lisa, one of our newer directors, to come on, because this girl, I don't know, and I mean, I think she'd give me permission because I know we have to be cautious without getting permission, but I don't know if she's had a month since joining, she didn't have over 2,000 PRV. I mean, she truly has just joined it and just hit the ground running. And Lisa does a phenomenal job, not only with parties, but she also, one of the things I'm hoping that she's going to share a little bit that she's had success with is mystery parties too. So Lisa, where are you at? And will you hop on here? Oh, I see you now. Yes, are you still driving? I think you might be on. Oh, there you go. Yes, so we've got Lisa. So Lisa, tell us where you live, where you joined, and you're driving in the car, obviously, to or from somewhere.
Power on.
Don't
Can you hear me?
Camera. Yeah, but don't look at the camera. You can turn it off. You have permission to turn it off if you need to.
Power on. Bluetooth.
Okay, we're going to give her a moment.
Bluetooth totally disconnected. I don't know why.
Okay, we got you now. Don't look at us, but we hear you fine.
Okay. No, my Bluetooth totally disconnected and then I couldn't hear anything. So I don't know what happened.
Oh, okay. Did you hear me ask where are you from? Tell us when you joined Scentsy and your current title, although I kind of spoiled that.
Okay, January 31st of 2020. So right about a year now. And I'm in California and a director.
Okay. And you're driving to or from somewhere, I can tell.
Yes, I am driving. I'm picking up my husband right now.
Okay, very good. Well, just be safe driving first, but could you share with us what you did for the month of January to come up with that, again, explosive PRV?
I did one home party and then that's my first home party ever. Because when I started, it was COVID. So I haven't got to do any of that. So I did a home party and then a mystery host party in my VIP group, which also helps because, you know, everyone wants to win the host rewards.
So what is what is a mystery party for people that don't know what a mystery party is?
Where anyone who buys from that link will go into a drawing basically for the end of the month, and whoever wins the drawing wins all the rewards. You can do it where, you know, one person wins the half off and one person wins the free credit, or you can split it. It just depends on how big it is.
And how often do you do these mystery parties?
This is my first one that I ever did.
Oh, wow. Well, very good. Sounds like it was obviously successful.
I know that I wasn't sure how to word them because, you know, it's a personal special. So you have to watch how you word it online.
And
so
where did you get the information? Where did you access the information to know how to word it properly?
On the workstation, I just searched, I think personal special, no, compliance. And it brings up all of the, you know, personal specials, pay to play, fairs and events, all of that.
Good answer. Yes, she is exactly right. You will find that if you go to your workstation and you go to Scentsy Success and then go to training and search compliance, you will find all of the information as well as some examples of actual wording that are okay to use and not okay to use. There's also an album in the Scented Bliss family group that has those same images, so you can check those out. If you're not sure, Now you know where to go. Okay, go ahead, Lisa. Sorry.
And then the other thing, the majority of mine, I know all the other ones said that they do parties a lot. I really don't. I basically just post. I post on my personal page and my VIP group and on my business page, real life pictures, use all the products. I mean, if you use everything that we have to offer, then one, you can tell everyone about it, and two, you have pictures. So you can show them you're using it, or you can make samples with it, or all of one with just one product, you know, and just post it. Show people what you're doing, what you're using, just like everyone posts their dinner.
So Lisa, tell us, do you ever go live on social media?
No, you know, I don't do this.
I know you don't love the
No.
camera, but I just thought I'd
No,
ask because I wasn't sure. We're going to get over that though, right?
Yeah, I'm
It's
working on it.
2021, a new year.
I know. I say yes when you ask me. I do it reluctantly.
Okay, so do you ever, I know you said you don't do a lot of parties, but you get a lot of response from your social media posts and interactions that way. So how are you consistently also sponsoring? I mean, I just have to ask because I know you sponsor all the time. Is that coming from your customer purchases? I mean, how are conversations later, relationships? How are you making that happen?
Relationships, for one, but also because I don't do a lot of parties, I have a lot of host rewards. So I have a lot of options or a lot of opportunities to offer the free kit. Well, I'm sorry, not free. No cost out of pocket kit option to anyone. I mean, anyone who buys a lot from me or anyone who even seems interested, maybe who hasn't made a purchase because they can't afford it. Well, maybe they can sell it. And if they say yes, then I'll use my host rewards to get them a kit. Recruit the many to find the few. So
Wow, that's a lot of wisdom right there. That's very good. Well, that also tells us how in less than a year you promoted to director. So very, very wise words. So Lisa, what would be like one or two tips you would give the people that are listening tonight and to increase their PRV for the month of February?
continue to post. If you get any likes or any comments, any reactions, it doesn't matter. People are still watching. I see people complain about that all the time in the other consultant groups that no one comments or interacts or does anything with their post, but they're still watching it. A lot of the people who buy from me, they don't comment, they don't like my posts, they don't share them, they don't do anything, but they still buy. And they didn't right away, so keep sharing until they do.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Now, Lisa, you work outside the home?
Yes.
So so again, you know, obviously you're selling a lot of Scentsy. Do you have ways that you're doing that at your workplace, or are you able to incorporate that in some way or in the community, or is all your social media?
Mostly it's social media. My boss really does allow me to work on things when I need to. We have, of course, warmers and everything at the shop, but the majority, I would say like of my sales come from social media. Oh, and also Marketplace. Everyone says you can't post on Marketplace. It's, you know, it's out of compliance. It's not out of compliance to direct them to your PWS. So as long as you post a picture of something coming out and tell them, you know, order here with your PWS, you're in compliance and you're meeting people that you are not friends with. It's not your warm market. They're all strangers. I've gotten teammates that way, customers that way, all from Marketplace.
Yeah, that's an excellent tip too, because I think people do have fear, which, you know, of compliance or the compliance piece. And let me just bring this up really quick, even though it's kind of off our PRV topic. The reality is if you were to be out of compliance, you post the wrong thing, you say the wrong thing, I can assure you our compliance department, they're going to educate you so that you have an understanding of what you did, and they are going to give you the opportunity to do right by that. So if you ever get that email or any of that stuff, you know, there's no reason to like freak out, or don't get angry for sure. Do not get angry, because it's an educational process. And that's the really big piece I want you guys to hear. Learn from it. Just learn from it and do better. When you know better, you do better. But if you don't know, and in most cases, I truly believe it's just a matter of not understanding, comprehending it properly, or, you know, maybe they didn't know where to look. Now, you guys all know where to look because we told you where to find compliance stuff. But the reality is, don't have fear of getting in trouble. If you know you've done what you can to understand it and to get the information, then you're good, you're golden. And if you ever do hear from compliance, then learn from it and move on, and then train your team. You know, I wish I could tell you I never made mistakes and that I didn't need to learn any lessons, but I'm still learning lessons every single day. So trust me, after 12 years of doing this, I still make mistakes. I still mess things up. And I fortunately usually learn things after the first time, but occasionally it takes me a couple times. So, you know, it's all about intention too. And if your intent is good and innocent versus you're trying to be harmful or hurtful. So enough of the compliance stuff. I know people like to avoid that topic, but in reality, it's there to protect us, and it is not, doesn't have to be a scary or bad thing. So, okay. So we have had 3 phenomenal people sharing tonight. Now it's your guys' turn to ask some questions. You can ask them in the chat, or if you're comfortable unmuting, you can unmute and ask questions as well. We had Jamie, Amanda, and Lisa. It can be towards one of them, all of them, your choice. Oh, Tiffany, I just want to say, in case you guys aren't able to see the chat because you're maybe not available to be on the Zoom, but Tiffany had a really good suggestion. Stories is a good place to see who's watching versus the posts. So yeah, my son tells me all the time, Mom, you can't let your stories go down. You need to like have stuff on your stories. I'm like, okay, you know, I'm going to hire him someday to be my marketing person. But right now he's a little preoccupied, but and doesn't think he needs to do that. But
that's very true, because I didn't do stories for the longest time. I was just posting on my page or in my business page, and I saw a huge decline on the Facebook stuff because you've got people leaving because of everything that's going on. And you've got people that are totally off Facebook now. You got people that block you for that kind of stuff. But in one day, I had 128 people look at my story. So, and on that same post I put in my business page, I had 4. So that's very, very true.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very good. Now, Anna had a question, and I'm guessing this one is probably most specifically marketed towards Lisa, if she's still with us. Lisa, if you are, the question is, how did you promote the mystery host party?
I posted that I was having a mystery host party, and if you're not sure what that is, then message me. And pretty much everybody already knows what that is nowadays. So I had a couple of people ask me.
And Lisa, are you doing this? I know you said in your VIP page. Do you also post this on your wall, like, or just in your VIP page?
I didn't this one because I wanted this to be just for my VIPs. I wanted the ones who already support me to be able to be, you know, one of the ones that would win, because it's my first one.
Yeah, very good. I like that. And then another comment, yes, you can share your party links on your VIP page to help too. So that's another great way to constantly reposting out the party link for the mystery party is a really good tip as well. Okay, who else has got questions?
Oh yeah,
Oh, come on, don't be shy. I mean, all 3 of those ladies. Well, I don't know Amanda. Well, yeah, she's probably more comfortable, but I know Lisa for sure was like, oh my gosh, okay, I will. But so for most people, it does not come natural to want to unmute and to speak in the Zooms. So please feel free to ask your question or use the chat.
I'll ask a question. I think it was Jamie who said it, but she said that she plays a game every day and they're not always Cincy related. So I know that a lot of questions that I get from my team are types of party games, and I don't play a whole lot of games. So I'm kind of curious to what type of games that you play in your parties.
Jamie, could you give us a couple of examples of that?
Sure. Let me see. Did I unmute myself? Yes, I did. Let me see if I can pull some up on my phone. I don't know how easy it'll be for you guys to see it. So some of them are Scentsy related, like the scent circles. I do towards the beginning of the party, I usually do some simple ones. I have played like the wax warmer one. Let me see here. I have to find some new ones now that we switched catalogs, but I play Scentsy Clue, Battle Sense, which is just like for them to pick a square and you have like 7 hits on the board.
So are these images that you share?
Yes. Yep. They're all
Is it-
images.
Is that something you could drop in the event, you know, on the page? There was an event for this
Absolutely.
tonight. Would you be willing to
Yeah.
drop those in there so
Sure.
that, I mean,
I'll
I want
check
you
it
to keep talking too, if you'd like to,
Yeah,
that's
that's
great
fine.
too. But I think the images would be helpful as well, if you don't mind sharing them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I try and get them. There's an ABC one that says start with A and comment something Scentsy with that letter. So that kind of gets them looking at your website. Let me see what else. Can you guess what is warming in my home? And they have to ask yes or no questions. So they can say like, is it a bakery scent? And go back and forth. People love the games. This is a non-Scentsy related one. You and your hostess are in the back of a police car using only 4 words you turn to her and say. So it doesn't even necessarily have to be a game. It could be just an interactive post that I give them 2 entries for the final drawing to comment on. Right now I have some Valentine ones that are going. I have like emoji phrases and what is your Cupid name? First letter of your name, it gives you something. In the month you were born, it gives you something to create your Cupid name. So just fun things, you know, that people like, they love that kind of stuff, and it can be super simple. But yeah, I'll put those in the event.
That would be great. And then Jamie, do you use Visly?
I do not.
Oh my goodness. So Amanda does. I don't know about you, Lisa. I know you don't do a lot of parties, so I'm not sure if you're on the Visly kick yet. Wow. So Jamie, you literally.
I can't figure out Project Broadcast either. I'm still trying to do all this.
Okay.
All this technical stuff.
Well, you're a great example of you don't have to know how to do any of it to be very successful. So that's a good example to the others. But at the same time, we have to continue getting you uncomfortable so you can get comfortable and keep going even farther up that ladder. So
yeah, I want to look into Project Broadcast. I've used it a little bit, and then Visly I've thought about doing, especially if I start getting more. Like 12 was a lot, but they were spread throughout the month.
I can imagine having 2 without Visly.
It does, yeah, it does take up a lot of my time, and I feel like my time probably could be better spent doing something else, especially now that I started the Ignite program that you invited me to. I'd like to spend my time focused on other things, so I probably will look into Visly, but right now I'm like, I have too much going on to even try and learn Visly or how to use Project Broadcast further. So I'm like, I don't want to overwhelm myself with too many things at once. So I'm like, I got my post down. It doesn't take me very long because I have everything saved on my phone. I just copy and paste the language and I know exactly what pictures.
Jamie or Peggy, you were going to unmute.
I just want to say I'm glad that you're on my Ignite team.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I can't grasp though, Jamie. Like really, it takes me about 5 to 7 minutes to set up a party from start to finish, usually using Visly. 5 to 7 minutes a party. And you had like Amy Denny, before she was using, I had her come over to show her Visly. She would spend like 45 minutes just setting up one party. And then like you, she'd have multiple parties. And I'm just like, oh no. Yeah.
I wish I lived a little closer to you so you could walk me through it.
Well, guess what? We don't have to live close. I can still help you. So we will do that. We're going to have a date. We are going to have another Zoom date. So, okay. Well, this has been so fabulous. We still have 10 minutes left. I'm going to go look at the chat again. This is just such a great example of, you hear from me a lot and you hear from some of other leaders quite often, but I don't know how many of you guys knew Lisa, Amanda, and Jamie before this Zoom, but look at the wealth of knowledge and information and success that we can all benefit from. And I know there's probably lots of you guys on here too that have a lot of value to contribute as well. So don't ever hesitate to reach out to me and say, hey, if you ever talk about this, I would love to share. Or, use the Facebook group to share the things that you guys are doing. That's one of the best things I have found about Scentsy is we're not in competition for one another. This is not about competing. It's about helping and supporting each other. We are all better together when we're working together. We're all working towards the same goal. Remember, if you're taking care of your customers, I'm not going to steal them. You have nothing to worry about, okay? And that's how you need to be thinking about this. But you're probably doing some things that could help another Scentsy sister or Scentsy mister. Something that you're finding success in. It can seem like the smallest little tip that can make a significant difference for someone. So don't be afraid to share what you're doing. We would love that. I would love to hear from more of you because again, just like Jamie, Amanda, and Lisa sharing, just so refreshing to hear from all of you guys. So let's see what we got here. Okay.
I had a question about it. So when you guys are talking about like entering them, like they play the game and they enter to win a prize, like how do you start off wording that? Because I don't know. I've thought about it, but I can't figure out the wording for it.
That's a really good question because again, you want to make sure that you are following the pay to play rules, which is illegal because it can't be seen as gambling because again, that would be illegal for not just a Scentsy thing, just an in general thing, pay to play. So there is a section, and I don't know if one of them want to speak to this too, but more specifically, and they're supposed to be putting together another training document as well to help. But there is information on pay to play specifically in compliance. So if you do that search, like I was saying, you'll see some examples of how you can do giveaways. There's images with the wording of how to word your giveaways. So just to let you know. And then it looks like, oh, she's not driving. At least we hope we're not driving because now she's typing in the chat. And she said, you can post for interaction. So an entry for liking or commenting, etc. So hopefully that helps, Cassandra.
Or anything that's not purchasing, anything that anybody can do. It doesn't require them to spend any money or to do anything, hard or any effort, basically.
Very good.
So basically it's more of an entry for commenting, for playing, for interaction, not an entry for paying for an item.
Right. You have to be really careful about the pay to play rules because that's when like the FTC and like I said, we don't have a gambling license. So that sort of thing all kicks in and we just want to stay away from all of that. So there's ways to do it, as you can see, and be in compliance.
And I usually say no purchase necessary. Something like that. And I feel like I talked to compliance recently, and I don't think we're allowed to use the word raffle. We have to call it a drawing, which I did not realize until recently.
That's a very good point.
They said that raffles are actually one of their top things that people get reported for. Because there might be like a past Scentsy consultant in your group, one of your parties you don't even realize. And if they get mad because they didn't win, they could report you or something. So you don't want to take the chance. So I have not used the word raffle at all anymore.
That's a really good tip. Yeah. And if you're ever not sure about something, if you think you've read it and you're still not sure, I still send emails to compliance@scentsy.com and say, can I post this? Like, there's times when I'm still not sure, even when I've tried to read it and tried to know, I get confused or interpretation could be different. It's okay to send an email to compliance and ask them. That's exactly what they want you to do and what they're there for. We're not supposed to respond to compliance questions because there can always be different situations and circumstances. And therefore, if I tell you wrong, that could put me in a bad place. So it's not us trying to be jerks. But unless it's like literally extremely black and white with zero opportunity or chance for gray, for example, the Scentsy logo has to be done an exact way. There's no gray area. And I can tell you how to get to the logo guide in the workstation like that one. I feel comfortable answering because there's nowhere else you can go with that. But some of this other stuff there is. And so always when in doubt, go straight to compliance. So let me check the chat here again. Okay, well, the internet is great. I am only hearing half of what you say. Oh, well, I'm sorry for that, Sarah. Can I share about the 100 list? Peggy, yes, please share about the 100 list for us. When we'll wrap it up with that. That'd be a great closing.
Okay, so I also am starting the Ignite program for, is it Superstar Consultants and Above? Or
Star
and Above?
consultant. Mhm.
Star Consultants and Above. It was by invitation, and one of our, so it's a pretty intense, it's very intense. We're just in week 1, day 2, and it's very intense. But one of the things I've been in it for almost nine years this April. And one of the things that I lack, and I lack a lot, but one of the things that I've lacked in my business is continually changing my 100 list. Um, and the reason you need to change it is because you always need to bring new blood, new customers, new potential recruits in. If you're thinking I'm stalling, I'm stagnant, I can't do this. This was done based off of the video that we watched, the YouTube, and you basically start out with your circle in the middle. That's you in the middle. And then from there, you branch out with the different things that you are. You're a wife, you're a mom, you're a mother of a baseball player, a golfer, you're a mother of a kid that's in college, and you build off of that until you get, a page. And you can make more than this, is what they're saying. You could get a huge page and go forever. But that is one way. And then from there, you start writing down the names of people that you may know, or groups that you may know, that you want to share Scentsy with, that maybe you haven't, because you've been sucked into this. Okay, these are my customers and they always buy from me, so that's who I'm going to stick with. But if you do that, you're not turning over new people. You're not turning over new, to get new customers. And I had 2 parties back in November where when they do their parties, they've never done well. And with the Visly app, one of them was my sister-in-law. She says, I SUCK at parties. She goes, I never get anything. I never get any of the rewards or anything. Her party was over $800. And that was through the Visly app. And all I did was push a button with some help from Tracy, and got that party going and got new customers out of that. But it really is an eye opener when you sit down and you realize I do have 100 people, if not more. So if you're new and you want to kind of get started, or you've been in it a while and you've got the same customers, I'm going to be honest. The same customers come back to me all the time, but I need to jump out of that stagnant pool and start branching out. And the only way you can do that is if you put it on paper and you list the different things. Like here's things that I listed. My church, neighbors, my husband's job. What does he do? What can my business do for people that he's around? I'm a grandma. I'm a mom of a golfer that's in college, that kind of stuff. And that gets your brain thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, well, it may not be it may not be at the school he's at right now, but past moms that I've been in contact with, or things like that. I'm a mom of a teacher, things like that can start getting your brain geared in a different direction than what you are currently at now, if you're stalling and you're looking for more business.
That is so true. And even like on my list, sometimes when I revisit my list, I don't even necessarily know their name. I'll just put the new teller at the bank because I don't know their name yet. But when I went through the drive-through, there would be something different. And so I want to remember that the next time I go, that I have samples and stuff if I don't have them with me, or that I gave them a sample so that I can follow up. So it's not like these people have to be people that you have a personal relationship with, or, you know, it can be just that person. It can be to the server at Longhorn that you
Right.
see that works frequently, you know, type of thing too.
Well, and something else you need to also watch is what you post on your personal page, because a lot of your customers, you have to friend them and they're on your personal pages. Most of them are. So you've got to kind of watch what you post on there, because they said that when you sell Scentsy, you're building a relationship with your customers, and they buy from people that they can trust. So they've got to know that they can trust you with their business, you know, that you're going to be there for their business. And they don't want to be sold to, they want to buy from you. So you've just got to watch how you word things when you put it out there. When you get these new customers, you've got to kind of rein them in slowly and let them build their trust that you're not going to slam them every day with, do you want to buy, do you want to buy, do you want to join, do you want to join? So
that's some really great tips. And that is so true. You know, Peggy's been in this business a long time. I've been in this business over 12 years. And, you know, I can't say that I have it with me 24/7, but I have a notebook, a spiral notebook that I have with me most days. And it is a constant work in progress. You know, okay, who am I going to talk to about hosting? You know, who am I going to talk to about sponsoring? And it's a constant reminder that my work is not done. My work is not done until I'm in the circle of excellence, which means I need 6 frontline superstar directors. So if you're my frontline, let's go. Let's get to work. And if you're not my frontline, I love you all the same. And I'll be cheering just as loud when you reach your accomplishments as well. So saying that, I'm so glad that you guys got on. And again, big shout out and thank you to Jamie, Amanda, and Lisa for sharing with us, as well as I'm looking forward. Again, it's the first Wednesday of every month. We have this meeting, same time. It's the events are all set up in the Center Bliss family group, so you can go in and save the dates. And otherwise, if I don't see you before Sunday, and I'll just put it out here, a disclaimer, the Chiefs are playing in the Super Bowl. So the Slims are Slim is unless we're like just completely slaughtering them, which I would be a nice bonus. You probably won't see me, but let me tell you, we have got some fun things, need to know information that will be happening. So if you join the happy hour on Sunday, you are going to leave with some tips that I bet you're not aware of all of them. So if you're able to join, we'll look forward to having you join on Sunday for happy hour. All right, let's go out and have a fantastic week.
Thank you.
Thank you.